Hi everybody, this is Wade from Wade's Orchids, and welcome to a long overdue greenhouse tour here. This is June 2020, and I thought I would open things up by taking a look at Brassavola nodosa, which I have always considered to be an essential part of a good orchid collection. It is extremely fragrant, it is very easy to grow and bloom, and it just lasts for a long time, 6 weeks to sometimes 2 months on this plant, although it may be a tetraploid, and it stays fairly small. This is in a 3-inch or 4-inch clay pot, and I've got 3 spikes going on it now, and it reblooms from the old spike at least once when it's mature. So just a beautiful plant to have and own. And we're going to keep going with some cattleyas here. Go over here to this one. Looks like I didn't cut the spike off here, but this is tropical pointer cheetah. Really nice display. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I get usually either 6 or once in a while 7 flowers out of this. And it's a summer bloomer. Usually it kind of welcomes summer in because it blooms right at the beginning of summer. And move along to a couple other cattleyas here that's blooming. This is a first bloom here. I have 4 flowers on it. Turn it around here a bit so we can look at the most flowers that are open. These 3 are just opening. And this is a cross from Sunset Valley Orchids. It is Memoria Evelyn, hold on, Pasque, crossed with BLC Sunspots. And it's a modern type spot, whereas Tropical Pointer Cheetah was made quite a while ago. But their spotted cattleyas are usually summer bloomers. Back here, oh my gosh, this guy here doesn't look real good right now, but that is because it's been bloomed well over 2 months. That is Epicattleya Charlie Brown variety Red Star, and hopefully I can get it a little bit bigger. This is a first bloom here. This is a cross of SLC Final Touch with Potenara Gymnacu. Gymnacu has been used lately in quite a few very nice crosses. This one is so-so. But Gymnacu is a very nice yellow. It has just a tinge of red on the lip. Here's a nice little miniature. Whoops, excuse me. Hold this up for you. And I will turn this around. We got Seagull's Apricot crossed with Potenara Bogold. And Seagull's Apricot has always been a really nice mini. This plant here is about 5 inches tall. And flower is little less than 2 inches across. Maybe a little more, actually. But it's a really nice flower. 2 flowers on the spike. The flowers kind of open up over time. As you can see, this is just opening up, and it will get better form as it opens. That happens with a lot of things that have got a lot of sophronized coccinia in, because that's how coccinia is. It'll open up, and it will be rather small, and as time goes by, it will get larger and have better form. So let's see, I don't think we have much more. Oh, over there is that's an epi. Here's another epi. That's an epidendrum species. I think that's Igba glens. Very easy to bloom things. And we'll just take a look around here. This is starting to grow into the bench a little bit, but a very nice little bandaceous thing here. This is a cross from Moat's Orchids. It is Vanda, a Runestree Beauty cross with Molly Fairwell, or Fairweather. Yeah, I can't see the whole tag, but that's got really nice sized flowers for being such a small plant. Right here we've got some really nice Pathmodii. This is a batch that I got in for sales. Some beautiful flowers in this. I like to keep Monii in bloom whenever possible for people that come in because they're such easy plants to grow and bloom. Just beautiful things. The flowers will last 6 weeks to 2 months. Look at the size of that. Just really nice. Here is an Oncidium that was not staked and has got an ungodly long spike. I don't remember the name of this one, but it just puts out a spike that's like 4 feet long. This one here is Oncidium Tomcat. And I will go over here to show you what Odontocitium catatante can do when it's blooming nicely. Just an incredible number of flowers and just a great display. I really like this. It's Odontocitium catatante. It's available in a couple of different clones. I think this is Kilauea Karma, but it's hard to tell the difference between the clones. They're all nice. Look around a little bit more here. This is well, the flowers are going, but this is a second flowering on this little mini nobile here. It's a cross with Issy variety Pearl, which has got Maniliforme in the background, I believe. Here is this flower has been open for about 6 weeks or so. It still has really nice substance to it, although you can start to see the veining. It is a cross of Thomas Warren crossed with Schuetzii. And it's really kind of lime breeding because Thomas Warren has got Schuetzii in it to begin with. And you can see I have fairly large hands. These flowers are over 5 inches across. The plant is about 12 inches tall. You can't ask for much more in an orchid. And it is, it just flowers for 2 to 3 months usually. Very, very nice. Let's take a look up here. Callia Ferbesii is starting to bloom. It's a nice, smaller growing cattleya. Rarely gets more than about 12 inches tall. And what else do we have? Oh my. Oh, Masdevallias. Here is, oh well, this flower is going, but this is Masdevallia Machu Picchu. really nice. That will sometimes, yes, that's blooming on a branch spike. It'll sometimes put out a subsequent flower from the first. Here is another purple one. You can see that this has been blooming for a long time. And it is, just a second, Masdevallia Redwing variety Hartford, AMAOS. And now I'm done shaking it all around, we can take a look at it. In summer like this, when it's warm, the flowers are much smaller. Usually when they're blooming in the springtime, the flowers are quite a bit larger. But they're blooming now, and they're doing fairly well. Here is an orange one. Now you see that this has another bud coming for a subsequent flower, and it is. Oh, this is. I got this labeled as Othello. Now, usually Othello is much more tubular, but it has got all the characteristics of Othello other than that, so it may be a very good Othello. Because Othello, one thing that Othello does is it has always puts out 2 flowers on a spike, which this always does too. And the colors are right for Othello. So, I don't know, maybe. Coming over here, this is a really nice, big, dark Masdevallia. This is Masdevallia Red Shine variety Sheila. It's a fairly cool grower. It's got a lot of Masdevallia vechiana in it. You can tell the flower spike is really tall. And also, it sometimes puts out a second flower. This one here is a second flower. So it does pretty good. Down below it here is a really nice white. This is this is Ziegler's Love variety Golden Gate, and it is just it's huge for Masdevallia, and it's being that this is, as I said, summertime and the flowers are usually small. This from top to bottom is still going 5 inches or more, and there's a couple more. This is a nice little warmth tolerant, easy to grow Masdevallia. This is it is Golden Tiger variety Augie, which has an HCC. Nice little thing. I've had that for a fair number of years. And just getting ready to open up here is a species. This is Masdevallia colossus variety Roman Warrior. And one thing that colossus does, this looks like it's going to be a huge flower. And really it is, but it curls the segments back very badly. And also the color is really interesting on this. It's actually a brown with some yellow in the tails. You don't see that very often. I've got a couple of pansy orchids blooming here, or Miltoniopsis. I'm not going to go into the names of them. There's so many of them. Here is a really interesting little thing. I just got this. This is Paulista Valentina. Well, I shouldn't say I just got it. I got it a couple of years ago, and it's the first time it's bloomed for me. But I have 4 spikes on it. I will see how close I can get and still keep it in focus. I think that's about it. You will notice that polystachias, all polystachias, bloom their flowers and hold their flowers in what's called non-resupinate, which means that they don't turn their flowers 180 degrees like most orchids do in order to have the lip on the bottom. But this is very nice, has a nice lavender color to it. Above it here, we have a nice bulbophyllum. Actually, two nice bulbophyllums here. They're both the same, different color variations. And, gosh, my memory just keeps going on me. It is Theorum, bulbophyllum Theorum. And now the yellow is actually like a dark yellow, almost an orange. It doesn't have as many flowers as the red because it bloomed earlier with most of its flowers, and then it's doing a secondary blooming when the red one's blooming. But that's the way it goes. Take a look around at a couple more things here. Oh, got a nice path here. This, hold it like that so you can see it. And this is a cross of Balachalum with, I think, Vietnamese. No, Delanadii. Yeah, this is Vanda Empirement, which is a fairly old cross. I think back in the 80s. Funny, it doesn't seem that old to me. But this will bloom for quite a while. I haven't smelled it. No, I don't have any fragrance on it. But Delanadii has a little bit of a raspberry fragrance, and sometimes its progeny does also. Here is Bulbophyllum fraudulentum, otherwise known as the bird-beak bulbophyllum. If you look at this is all the further it opens up, but it is really a fairly large flower, and it stays open for quite a while. I keep wondering if there has been any breeding done with it. Here is a miniature bulbophyllum here, and this is Bulbophyllum flaviflorum. Doing fairly nicely. For the size of the plant, the flowers are as big as the whole bulb and leaf, maybe even bigger. Whoops, I lost it. Sorry. But it's a really pretty flower. Starts out with that dark orange red, and then goes to a bright yellow. Beautiful one. Let's see, what else have we got here? Oh, this is Bulbophyllum J.M. Galati. This is variety Wade's Orchids. I've tried to get this awarded, but they say that it's a little bit too muddy. But it is by far the nicest form of any J.M. Galati that I have had or seen. And I've seen probably 20 of them or so, at least. Really nice. Over here, this is fading, but it's a pretty flower. It's Dendrobium arcuentum. It is a fairly warm grower. It blooms from old spikes, and I'm now starting to give it more moisture. I thought that it liked to be dry, but then I saw some other people growing them, and they were growing them much more moist, so I'm giving it more water, and it seems to like it. Down here, Oh, this has got a lot of damage on it. But that's Sophronized coccinea. And let's see, what else do we have? Oh, around here. This is always in bloom. This is a pleurophthalid. It is actually Stella Morgana. You can see hundreds, really, of tiny flowers. And it is always like this. This is in a 3-inch pot. And it is just, it's one of my favorite orchids, really. Absolutely gorgeous. This is breeding from a friend of mine who is an AOS judge. This is from John Dunkelberger. Really nice Oncidium. It is Garnet Star, Wilsonera Garnet Star, and that's in a 3-inch pot. It doesn't get a lot bigger than that. It will get more flowers though. What else have we got blooming? Summertime is kind of funny. There's some things that bloom only in summer, but then there's a lot of things that it misses. This is always blooming on and off. Butterfly orchid. This is used to be called Oncidium. There's another one over here. This one I think is in even better shape. And this particular clone has got an FCC. Really nice. You can tell why it's called butterfly orchid. It's always, in the slightest breeze, it's always in motion. This flower spike here, if you look at it, has probably put out, maybe a dozen flowers already. The spikes will last, I have heard, up to 8 years. A little bit of a hint, if you're trying to grow one, they are very resentful of being repotted or being disturbed. They really don't like that very much. I grow mine in a clay pot down here. It's a 6-inch clay pot, and with sphagnum moss along with some bark. And let's see, not a whole lot more. Oh, here's a nice little miniature. This is Stenoglottis McLaughlini, and that's in about a 5-inch pot there. The flowers are about 1/4 of an inch across. Very beautiful, beautiful miniature. This goes completely dormant starting in early fall. The leaves will start getting yellow and brown and eventually drop off. And when they start going to yellow and brown, you start giving less water until after they drop off and that you just stop watering it for a little while until it starts growing again. Very easy. Up here, this is not blooming yet, but this is a giant. That's Fred Clark era After Dark variety SVO. I've got 8 spikes coming on it. I will definitely do a video when it opens up. It's going to be one heck of a show. If you're not growing catasetums, I really urge you to take the plunge. They are very rewarding. They are not all this big, although there aren't any that are really miniatures either. Let's just take a look down here. I don't have hardly anything that's blooming right now, but got quite a few plants. This one right here I got an AM on. It's almost black, but look how beautiful the leaves are when they're growing. It's just incredible. Really nice. You can see they are not small, not by any stretch of the imagination, although here's some that do not get quite as big as that. Usually your Fred Clark eras will be larger. At least that's what I have noticed. If you want smaller plants, look for plants with Catasetum tigrinum or denticulatum in them. Denticulatum is really a very, very small plant. Now this is still a seedling, but this is denticulatum here in a 2-inch pot. And it will get a little bigger than that. But still, you can grow it in a 4-inch pot, as you can with tigrinum. They're both very nice plants, nice flowers too. And something, if you notice, this plant here and this plant here are both cloaceas. This one is Grace Dunn. No, this one is not Grace Dunn. Yeah, it is. This is Grace Dunn here, and this one, yep, is Rebecca Northern. And you can always tell cloaceas because the leaves are kind of like a silvery gray compared to the other ones. See? One other thing I'd like to show you before I close. Here's a nice Presidium. This is Charles Martin Fitch, or is it? No. I forget the name of it. If I can find it. This is Shelob. This is actually Shelob variety Okika, which is essentially the same as Shelob Tolkien, except if you look here, you see there is just a tiny bit of variegation on the leaves. And that's the difference. One other thing I want to show you over here, come back over with me, and that is the habanerias are up. This is another orchid that a lot of people will not try because it goes totally dormant. It loses all of its top growth and subsists by a tuberoid that is a couple inches long that stays in the pot with, and you keep it moderately dry. I missed it a bit during the winter time, and then come spring they sprout up, and you can see right here some buds coming on this one already. So these will be going up for sale here pretty soon, but very, very nice. Okay, this is Wade from Wade's Orchids again. I hope you liked this. Everything is doing pretty well, and I will try to do more videos. Okay? We'll see you then. Bye-bye.